There it goes. Hello. Maybe it was the space bar that was giving. Anyway, doesn't matter. Hi. This is welcome to video 836. And there's my lovely child. Tea is like my best friend. Well, my best beverage friend. Just want to do a little touch base. I'm afraid to talk loud. Hang on. Ta-da! There we go. I shut the door. I'm not going to talk about anything like personal or private. Just there's a certain volume I have to keep. Or else you're not going to hear me, because if I talk really, really quiet, it's like I have to get the vocal pressure and I have to learn how to speak louder. Anyway, so this is going to be like week 5 voice lab. Just a couple of notes. Hard to believe it's like the 5th week of doing this. So, hot beverage, warm beverage. Ooh, excuse me. Okay. Just a couple of notes. I had mentioned before that I had developed kind of a keyword. See, even now it's like it's like I'm losing it. So my voice is stressed. But I had a keyword. That's what I was going to talk about. For me, it was bananas. Bananas, bananas, bananas. And, it's one of those things that, like, when I wake up or I'm going to work and I haven't talked in a while, and I get on the elevator and someone comes on the elevator and I want to say to them, I'm, like, deathly afraid of not speaking in the target, okay, that I need to be like. So to myself, I will say, in my head, I will say bananas, and I can hear my voice, okay, it's like I've learned it well. That B is a hard consonant, right? B-b, kind of like p-p, b-b. And I noticed that, like, now, and where I'm at right now, it's very hard for me to get over that hump. And so, to do it over again, I would have chose a word that did not have a hard consonant, like ard, A-R-D, ard, ard, ard. Okay, or egg, 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 egg. Just something that would not require me getting over that hump, you know. R, 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 R. And of course, I guess the hope is that in time, I will need to do that. It'll be up here. Up here is going to control this without me telling it to. I still wake up though, and like, if I turn over and I see a cat, one of my cats, I still speak in my old voice, without thinking about it. And I think it's just a matter of practice. At least that's what I hope. They say it takes 100 days to develop a habit. And so week 5, what is that? 5 times 7 is 35? We're not even halfway there, So hopefully that'll happen. The other thing I was going to say, which is going to be really hypocritical the way I am right now, is not to overstress yourself. Realize there's a limit to how much you can do without hurting your throat. You don't want to hurt your throat. It's better to aim low and stop than to ruin your voice. Okay, which again, so I should shut up, right? So I will. But before I go, something that I did, I went to the library, my local library, and I went looking specifically for books that were written for little girls, okay? Not like, see Spot Run, that type of stuff, but like these books. This is the American Girl books. I don't know if you remember or not, depending on how old you are. There was a company that made dolls, okay, like 12-inch dolls that you could dress up. They were the American Girls, and I think in some parts of the country they actually have stores, little girl stores, where you can go and buy clothes, okay, like this is not an American Girl dress, okay. I put my dress in the dryer and look what happened. No, I mean, this is for Abigail, my doll that I got last week, my dolly, my first dolly. And this is a company that makes clothes that fit the American Girl dolls. Okay, they're a lot cheaper in price, okay, because again, it's like the American Girl, you're paying for the name. But what the company did to tie into other things is they created books, okay? And so, because I have an interest in colonial America, this book, which is all about Felicity, okay, Felicity was a young girl around 1774, excuse me. So for me, it helps me to read and maybe even to pronounce, okay, this text because it's written for a little girl, okay? And in one of my videos I talked about how I felt like my voice was like a little girl asking for a cookie, okay? And I'm not saying you have to talk like a little girl, but I know I'm a big girl, okay, but I'm still a girl, okay? So that really kind of helped me out to read something that was appropriate for what I was reading. And then of course the other thing I did, I checked out from the library, was some Nancy Drew books. Remember these? These were kind of popular in the 80s or in the 70s really, when I was growing up, because of the Hardy Boys. Sean Cassidy, and I can't remember the other guy. They were the Hardy Boys. Remember the TV show? The Nancy Drew novels, the original, was actually published in 1930. So these books are from like I think it's the 1965 revision. They updated her to be a 60s girl, and of course, there's another update of these, so your library may have something different, but again, it is a book or a story that's written for a girl to read. And if you'll pardon the binary assumption, okay? But, to read it out loud and to listen to it, there's dialogue that might help, when you're talking to somebody else. Nothing against the rainbow and the pot of gold at the end of that little speech, or any of the other things. It's just something that I noticed. Usually I read, excuse me, I can't find any. Well, they're out of my reach. Usually I read Warhammer books, or D&D books. But I just found that, I sound like a 12-year-old. Might as well read something. The language is written, and unfortunately, the woman who wrote these, Carolyn Keene, is actually a pseudonym. It's a state. They were actually written by a guy, the same guy that did the Hardy Boys, but he invited ghost writers to come in. So there were women that worked on them, but actually, the Carolyn Keene is a fake name for a variety of writers who wrote the Nancy Drew stories. Anyway, so real quick, and then I'm going to shut up. So, just some suggestions, just some notes, and just wishing you the best of luck. It can be very frustrating when your voice kicks out on you. Yeah. And I had a moment like and again, I talk this way all day at work. So yeah, here it is, 7:22. It's time for me to stop. But I had such a good experience at the store. Um, I was walking up to the door at the grocery store. There was a young man who had on a headset and a Walkman and everything, or probably not Walkman, ages me. But we were both heading towards the same door. And I said, please, after you, being courteous. And he said, oh no, ladies first. Okay. And that made me feel so good. Okay. Because as kooky and crazy as I sound, okay, um, if I stopped this moment, you know what I mean? Just when you transition, you're so worried about how people are going to judge you. And definitely when you start messing with your voice, you're worried about how people are going to, and it's true. People come in all shapes and voices and sizes, and, don't give up, I guess would be my thing. And I am not. I'm not at the end of this. I'm not even halfway through it, you know. So I still am learning. I hope to get better, but I guess the thing is I'm very happy with what I've done so far. Ooh. And while I still have a lot to go, I'm kind of excited to see how it turns out, you know. Alright, I promised I'd shut up, so I will. And I will wish you the best of luck in becoming your authentic self as you define it. Alright, bye bye, everybody. Good luck.